Hey, I'm Trent, and you're watching My Geek Show. Yeah, that's what happens when you get too close. In this episode of My Geek Show, I took the advice of 10 comments made on blogs, forums, and YouTube, and applied their recommendations to improve the glider I made in episode 4. To do this, I read every single comment made and categorized them into 9 groups. I redesigned the glider and built it to the new improved specifications. Let's see how it turned out. Increasing the aspect ratio of the wing was one recommendation, which basically means reducing wing area but maintaining the same wingspan. I'll be exploring aspect ratio in greater detail in future episodes. This version improved the aspect ratio from 8 to 9.6. Many comments were focused on improving the placement of the CG, and most mentioned using 30% of the wing as a marker for CG, which is where I've placed the CG mark. Looking good so far. Adding dihedral to the wing was another common comment. Because I'll be doing extended testing on wing design, including dihedral in the future, I built this model without any dihedral. Many comments mentioned increasing the tail section would add stability. For this version, I've doubled its total surface area. Contrary to my strategy of adding more weight, many said that adding weight was actually making it worse, bigger crashes and faster falls. I've added only enough weight, 2 ounces, to balance the airplane. Reducing fuselage length was another recommendation, therefore putting less leverage on the airplane's CG point. I've cut its length by 1/3. Shifting the wing toward the middle instead of fighting the CG by adding weight was a great suggestion. I moved it almost to the center of the airplane. Many comments recommended that I add a wing spar to reduce wing flexing. You can see here that by adding a simple wooden dowel, the wing strength was greatly improved. Lastly, if my goal is stable flight, I need to throw it at the correct velocity, which for this glider would be a gentle toss. Too fast, this comment said, would cause exactly what you see here. Note the difference between throw speeds and stall rates. Okay, this is improved glider, center of gravity at 30%, larger tail section, smaller fuselage, better aspect ratio, and the lightest weight I can possibly get, and still have the airplane balanced at this wing configuration. Let's give it a shot. Oh, and the wing spar, of course. So here we go, gentle throw, nothing too hard. Let's give that a shot, see if that works. I'm not sure exactly what we did that made that much difference, but you can tell that glided perfectly. I think the center of gravity at 30% is right on. I think this weight, the wing spar, the tail section, the fuselage length, it had pretty low drag. It just glided ever so gently. It kind of veered off to the left, which makes me wonder if maybe my tail section isn't exactly right, but you know what? That is significantly better than the last glider. So now, just for to test the wing spar, I'm going to add all the weight that I did in the last version. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can to demonstrate the wing spar's ability to maintain the wing's shape. Alright, so I've added the weight just over the center of gravity. Should be about the same weight I had it as before. Let's give it a shot. Now I'm going to throw it as hard as I can. Booyah! That was awesome! You see how far it went? Boy, that spar made a huge difference to the performance of this airplane. Very impressed. When comparing the improved glider to the glider in episode 4, the difference between the flights of the 2 gliders is obvious. Clearly, the new glider with the improvements flies better and more stable. Compare the distance achieved from the lightest airframe and the airframe that is almost 4 times as heavy. Adding more weight to the